Nothing like a stroll in a beautiful park here in Nanaimo until you step in some dog poop. That's what we're talking about today on Go Island. On today's show, a love for tennis in Nanaimo, helping to reconnect missing dogs with their owners on Vancouver Island, and the leaders' debate has come and gone. Who won? Why does it matter? That and more in the next 30 minutes. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. How frustrating is it to go for a walk anywhere, whether it's in a park, a downtown street, your neighborhood, and you find dog poop everywhere? It's a pet peeve of mine, pun intended, and today we're creating some awareness about the importance of picking up after your pet. But before we get to any of that stinky stuff, I think I actually volunteered to come out and do this today, and yes, we're gonna pick up some poop. I'm stocking up on bags, so you should always have one with you if you're a dog owner. But before we get to any of that dirty, yucky stuff, we're gonna throw things over to Rayanne LaPlante. She's hitting the courts to find out what it is about the sport of tennis that people love so much. Community Tennis Day is coming up on Saturday, May the 5th from 10 until 1, and there's a focus on kids and tennis in the community. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. This is Cheryl Colombo. She is an animal control officer with the City of Nanaimo?
Yep, through Coastal Animal Services. We're a private contractor.
Okay, now you can get, it's just polite to pick up your dog poop because nobody likes to step in it or pick it up or whatever. We'll get into more of that a bit later on. But you can also get fined for it, and I didn't realize that you can actually get a fine for not picking up your poop.
Yeah, it's actually written in the bylaw, so anytime there's a bylaw written, there's also going to be a fine associated with it. So if you are caught not picking up, we can ticket you up to $50.
Do you do it that often?
Not as often. We like to hope that people are going to be more responsible and take some sort of pride and ownership in our town and clean up after themselves, but it can happen for sure.
And there are some things, and this, it's a little bit risky because maybe this is you that we're talking about, but you see things happen like people come to a park, they park their car, they open the door, they don't get out, they let their dogs out to go do their business in the park without them even getting out of the car. And this is not responsible dog ownership.
No, it's not. Obviously, they're not there to pick up anything either if they're not even getting out of their vehicles. And we have ticketed people for that. It's actually a dog at large, so it's actually a heavier fine. So they risk that as well as getting the ticket for not picking up after themselves.
Okay. Do you hand out a lot of tickets?
Well, we try not to. It's all about just making, like I said, making people be responsible. But I mean, there's areas where we get lots of complaints from the public.
And Piper's here, Piper's Lagoon is one of those places.
Piper's is definitely one. So is Neck Point and Bebin and Bowen Parks are also parks that, because they're heavier use, so there seems to be more offenders there. So we do have a higher presence in those areas for sure.
And I don't envy you for your job, Cheryl, because people must see you coming and go, oh, here she comes, I'm in trouble now. But that's not the relationship that you want to have with people.
No, absolutely not. We want to be a positive enforcement for the city, and so that people see us coming and they know that there's going to be proper things happening in the city. Everyone's going to keep their dog on leash. They're going to be picking up after themselves and their dogs and taking their garbage home with them and not throwing the bags in the trees and in the bushes and whatnot. So having our presence there sometimes eliminates those things.
How many of you are there?
There is 3 of us in the city.
Okay, excellent. We're going to talk more a little bit later on this edition of Go Island about why it's not a good idea to leave those compostable bags in a tree or at the side of the path. We're going to talk about the impact leaving dog feces just lying around will have on the environment and humans as well, besides just the unpleasantness of stepping in it. And we're going to talk about some positive initiatives and some things that you can, some ways you can interact with Cheryl that is a bit more enjoyable than just getting a ticket. Before we do any of that, though, we're going to throw things down to Victoria. FLED, Find Lost and Escaped Dogs, is an organization that's working to help people reconnect with their lost dogs all over Vancouver Island. Is one of many organizations who aim to help reconnect dogs and owners who, for some reason, get separated. Here's Jen Moranitz. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Yes, this is a poop bag, and today we are at Piper's Lagoon looking to pick up poop from dog owners who have not done it themselves. I remember as a kid on a field trip in about grade 2, we were in Beacon Hill Park, and I was the kid that stepped in some fresh poo, and it was all over my shoes and stinky and gross, and I got called the poop monster. and it hurt and it was terrible and it wasn't my fault, and that smell followed me around all day, and I remember that moment. I'll never forget it. It was terrible, and it's all because somebody did not pick up after their dog. Kids, when they're running around parks like this one, they don't look, they don't expect, and it's just a really quick way to ruin a great experience in our lovely outdoors, a park, a neighborhood, even a downtown street. So pick it up. Here's some right now. We're gonna do you a favor and pick it up for you. Oh, let's hope I don't gag. Oh, at least it's a little bit dry. Let's keep it right up. Ugh, at least it was a little bit old and kind of dried out. Now what you want to do is put this in a garbage can that is in the park here, or take it home and you can flush it down the toilet out of the bag. Don't throw it in the bushes. Don't leave it on the side of the trail. The bags are compostable, yes, but they take anywhere between 6 and 10 years, so that's not a solution. We'll be back with more after a short break. Still ahead today on Go Island, the leaders' debate has come and gone. Who won? Who lost? And why does it matter? And your big ticket events with Kim Rock. That and more still ahead today on Go Island. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We're picking up poop today because not enough dog owners do it themselves, but it's something that you should be doing. We found out that you can get a $50 fine, but there's also other reasons besides the unpleasantness of stepping in it or rolling in it when you're out playing with your family. It's just not healthy. Kirsty McDonald is the Parks and Open Spaces planner for the city of Nanaimo. What kind of impact can just leaving dog feces in the park have on the environment?
Well, feces has a number of organisms living in it, E. coli, salmonella, and other things that really are unpleasant for people. And also they're not good for the environment, such as the beaches. And especially in the summer, when we know that people are going to be out swimming and using the beaches, and shellfish are something that a lot of us eat. The impact of feces on our local marine life is really unpleasant.
Okay, and that's why as of today, May 1st to October, end of September, there's signs posted in all of the parks where you're not allowed to have dogs on the beaches.
That's right.
And do people tend to comply with that?
A lot of people are confused about the rule. So a lot of people think it's just dogs must be on a leash on the beach.
Okay.
But especially on our swimming beaches, it's a rule, it's a provincial rule that dogs should not be on the beaches for the 6 months of the summer.
Okay, and you guys are really sort of launching an awareness campaign right now. We got a press release and I said, how can we resist coming out to scoop poop on an edition of Go Island? But you'll start noticing some signs in the different parks as well, just to help people with the information.
Well, we actually just had our 5th session of open houses about dogs in parks and dog off-leash parks. And one of the key themes that came up resoundingly in the public feedback was just a lack of pet etiquette in our park system and a lack of understanding of what is expected. And scooping the poop and just a lack of picking up and being responsible as dog owners was a key theme. And a lot of people had animosity against dogs, not because of the dog, but because of what's left in the park after the dog visits the park.
Right.
So we're just really trying to raise awareness about what's expected so that everyone can enjoy our parks and open spaces.
Excellent, thank you. Anything else you'd like people to know about picking up after their pets? We're going to talk about some good news incentives that you've got going on. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Biggest complaint then, I guess, from non-dog owners would be
that people don't bring a bag or use a bag from our dispenser and then scoop the poop and then put it in a garbage can.
Right.
And garbage cans are available at all of our parks, and we really would like people not to leave it on the trails or in the bushes. Put it in a garbage can.
And we were talking earlier, I did mention that you're not supposed to just put it at the side of the trail. That's because it's not a proper composting environment.
That's
Even
right.
though these are compostable, they're going to stay in that tree for a very long
They
time.
can take up to 10 years to decompose, and it really isn't a pleasant sight in our beautiful parks or a pleasant smell for people, especially in the summer months.
Yeah. Ugh. Okay, yeah, my biggest complaint in my neighborhood is all the poop all around the streets. It's yuck. I think a lot of people are on board with me on that. There's no reason not to pick up after your pet. Please, please, please do it. The provincial election is coming up May 14th. We're going to throw things over now to Sean Leslie. It's This Week in BC. Oh my God. Oh, I always try to get... Okay, yeah, gag reflexes and everything. This is really, really gross, but you gotta pick up of your poop, people. Someone could have stepped in it. It could have been my kids. And Kirsty is with the City of Nanaimo Parks and Open Spaces. And if you see someone doing this, I might actually get something.
You might. One of our park ambassadors might be coming around this summer and give you a little present, like these leash bag containers.
Right, so you will never be stuck without a bag or a Frisbee. Oh my gosh. So this is the first year that ambassadors, and they're just wandering around the park?
They are. They're at 5 key parks in May.
Okay.
And they'll be just observing people's behavior. And when they see someone doing a good deed like you just did, picking up poo that wasn't even part of your responsibility.
Yeah, whether you gag or not.
They'll be giving basically positive reinforcement with some City of Nanaimo trinkets and also Parks and Rec passes and just a thank you. And also when they see people that are doing something that isn't part of good pet etiquette, they'll be raising awareness about it and then just chatting to people about why we have rules. So they're starting in May at a lot of our environmentally sensitive parks, such as Piper's Lagoon and Neck Point. And those are the locations where we've also put up awareness signs about paws near the ocean and paws near ponds, just to make people aware of why the rules are in place, like picking up the poo and what the environmental and human impacts are.
The importance of on a leash, off a leash, and why those rules are in place.
So just raising awareness about pet etiquette in Nanaimo's parks, which really are urban parks, and they're a beautiful part of what makes Nanaimo special, and we want to keep it that way for the next many, many years.
Right, and this does not make a place special. This is really, really gross. We're going to throw things over now to Kim Rock. She's got your big ticket items, and I'm going to go find a garbage can. Kim is just so cool, and she's actually pretty nice and very effective at her job as well. She's at the reception at Shaw TV in Victoria. I can't remember the last time I went to sort of a big time concert. Maybe I'm overdue. I'm definitely overdue carrying around these stinky bags of poo, and I'm not going to leave them in the bush or on the side of the path. I'm going to throw them in the garbage and go wash my hands. That's it for this edition of Go Island. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ugh.